Good morning all. It's Sunday morning, obviously the next day after my initial start on taking the oven apart. I'm about to go out to a car show today, but I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on how I got on yesterday and today. I've basically taken the oven apart into most of the components that I need to. This is going to be the likelihood of the stuff I'm going to be getting rid of. So what I've got here is obviously the original metal oven sort of carcass, the floor, the rear panel, I think there's the top of the rear panel, bottom panel, back of the fan assisted oven unit. This is the sort of stuff I'm keeping for now, for various reasons. So I've got a complete top hob unit with obviously all the 4 elements in, which I probably won't need to use, but I'm just keeping them if they take up minimal space for now. If I need to, I'll get rid of them. The control panel with various wires that I've obviously labelled up so I know where everything goes, particularly in relation to the top unit. Explained in another video as to why we need to insulate the actual oven, but basically I've taken out some of the insulating material out that was around both the oven and the grill units, obviously heat resistant to try and keep the heat in the oven, and also try and reduce the amount of time it takes to get up to temperature, and obviously therefore the electricity costs. That's one of the elements that I've taken out. That's the second element I've taken out. This was actually the fan assisted element area that was in the oven. Grill around one of the doors, various nuts, bolts, micro switches. It's also got this is the elusive oven light. I think it cost about 20 quid brand new, so if I can get hold of another one of those, have them inside the new oven, it'll light it all up so I can see nicely to see what's going on. Fan unit, which some people retain to use as a extraction for the little powder spraying area. Grill that can be, or one of the shelves that can be reused to hang some of your powder coating materials off while they're baking. That's the actual door of the grill door, sorry, the glass of the grill door. That's the inner one, which presumably will withstand higher temperature than the outer one. Complete oven door, still assembled with handle. Unfortunately the whole unit is too big to go into the door of my oven, so I might have to break it down and just use the inside and outside glasses. This is the sides of the original oven, which I'm hoping to trim down and use as part of the cladding to hold the insulation to the inside of the powder coating cabinet, sorry, the oven, just to basically keep the heat inside the oven area, as I said earlier on. Grill door, again just with the exterior glass because the interior one's over there. And this is the grill unit, which I've got to finish taking apart, so it's got another element in there to get out, and I've got to take the front of this off, which forms part of the door unit. This is the panel that was underneath one of the controller. It's obviously got a heat retaining strip on it, which I might reuse possibly inside the new oven. Part of the control unit, I've made sure that I've retained the various probes that were in the 2 heated areas. There's one there, one at the other end. Tried to wire it up, or keep the wires labelled up as much as I can in case I need to reuse them. So this lot I've got to maybe break out a little bit more, pack away. This lot needs to end up in the local council dump. Hi everybody, I'll just showing you a quick view of the inside of the oven as purchased, or the old filing cabinet converted into an oven. As you can see, it's got kitchen foil, baking foil, whatever you call it, coated on the inside. I think someone's actually used it for possibly spraying the powder coating as well at some stage, because it's got the old black powder at the back there. You can see I've got a little thermometer hanging there, which needs to be done a little bit better to check the temperature that the oven gets to. I'm going to see if I can get some of this heat insulation material that come off around one of the ovens or the grills, the metal casing underneath the elements here. So there's a little bit of movement on these existing elements. I'm hoping to get them to line the floor here, and maybe the same with the roof of the cabinet, and then use some of the existing sheeting over there, cut it and form a separate floor to hold the insulation material in place. Put a few self-tapping screws around and then maybe cover that in foil as well. I'm going to try and leave the existing foil where it is. It can only do any good really, just to try and hold a bit more of the heat inside the oven, get the right temperature to the powder, and obviously ideally retain the heat to the same electricity bill as well. So let's see how I get on. Okay, spent the last hour a bit sweaty in the garage. It's a nice hot summer's evening at the moment. So basically I've cut out the outside of the oven. I've cut out this strip, eased off the existing elements that were there, pulled them out of the way, set the strip on the floor to get the size right. Obviously made sure the insulation was in place, tucked it all in, got it to fit. Whacked a few screws in, just a few self-tapping screws that I put in the floor here. Just put 6 evenly spaced around. It's got a bit of a give in it, it's got some insulation underneath it, so it's not really hard, down tight. I want to leave a bit of air in there to obviously help with the holding the heat in. And I've gone around with this aluminium tape. This is something that I've seen other people using. Aluminium foil tape, use obviously proper ducting tape rather than the stuff we tend to use for other reasons. And run it around the sides just to seal all the edges in. I've also tied up around the elements that where it was the existing stuff was split and coming away around here, all the way around the corners. There will be once I've actually put side panels on and the ceiling panel and the doors, the ducting tape will go around all the joints as well. But I just thought it was nice to try and tuck it all in, tidy it all up, because there was bits of insulation squashing out the sides, or the heat resistant stuff, so it looks a bit more tidy than it did a while ago. Now I've got to think about maybe tackling the top section with the other panel. Exactly the same, might have to lay it on its back to get it done. Take the existing bits of metal off. So the previous owner had used, I think these are suspension components or arms off of a classic Mini, and he used to hang their items on it to do his powder coating. So I've got to take those off, get the area nice exposed flat, and try and do exactly the same as I've done. But I might have to use nuts and bolts rather than have the self-tappers obviously sticking through the roof. So wish me luck. Well, it's now an hour later. I've cut up the second side left over from the oven, trimmed it to fit inside the ceiling section of the cabinet, sandwiched in the last piece of that insulation, plus obviously some of the new stuff I've got, thermal insulation, sort of stuff you'd have in your loft. Whacked a few bolts through from the top into the cabinet, hold it up like that. They're probably as the suspension devices eventually for when I'm hanging stuff in the oven. Whacked a few pieces of tape round to seal it up again. I've got to put a side panel on this piece here. Got to get some more metal all the way up down here. One on the other side, and then on the doors I'm going to be putting hopefully putting some windows in the doors as well, out of the oven, so that I can actually see and see what's going on. So it is getting there, taking a bit longer than I thought it would do. Time for a cup of tea, give it a rest for the night, and then get some more steel and carry on from there.